What is up, everybody? Gosh darn it, what's going on out there today? Where are we? Tuesday, the 17th of August, 2021. Hope you're having a spectacular start to your day, wherever that might be. Uh, Here in Steamboat Springs, Colorado. Actually, heading the desert tomorrow. Going to go back to Mission Hills Country Club to the abode and hang out for a week, get in some good tennis, hang out with one of the kids and all that good stuff. And so I'm leaving tomorrow, the 18th, back on the 25th. And yeah, looking forward to that. Guys, as we started yesterday, Monday the 16th, we're going to spend the entire week going through the mental part of the game, developing the mental skills, which kind of important. Yeah. And I'm telling you, I mean, I'll be the first one to admit that I used to think, well, if I just drill enough, right? If I just go out there and I just hit enough cross court forehands and enough cross court backhands, and I go out there and I, do that in the mornings, then the afternoons after lunch, maybe go out there and take a bucket of balls on my own and get the phone out there and get the music going and hit some serves and do some sprints and do some all this kind of stuff. If I'll just outwork everybody, that'll be the thing. That'll be the mental thing that will kind of push me over the edge. And guess what? It didn't really work out that way. It is crucial, right? I mean, practicing is absolutely got to do it. Fitness is got to do it. You got to get the kitchen right. You got to be fit for this game. And that's part of developing some confidence. Let's be real. If you actually want to become a better player, and I'm not criticizing anyone or disrespecting anyone who really just loves to go out a couple times a week and maybe feel the ball around the court a little bit and play some fun socials. That's great. And if that's what you want to do, absolutely cool. But I think that this message this week is really focused more on those players who are competitive in terms of tournaments, leagues, and those kinds of practice matches where you want to win, right? I mean, nothing else is bragging rights. After you're done, walk up in the clubhouse and go, boom. So that's what we're doing all week. And I just think that we've got to be real with the reality that working on the mental part of the mental skills, you just got to do it. You can't just do certain things. You can't just play a lot. You can't just go hitting the ball machine. You can't just take a bunch of lessons. And you can't just get in the gym and think I mean, all those things are important. I'm not saying that you shouldn't be doing that, but I am saying that we got to devote some time to figuring out, each one of us, unique personalities, figuring out how are we going to make that transition from a lot of players play better in practice sets where it doesn't really mean anything, to where they then have to play the real deal, right? And again, the real deal could be anything that's made public. Anything that's made public could be, a tournament, could be a league, it could be a club, it could be your facilities having some kind of event where they're posting the results, right? And a lot of players just don't play as well in matches, those kinds of matches, as they do in practice. So this whole week, that's what we're going to work on, is trying to help you get that feeling in matches where let's bust through the nerves, let's bust through that tightness, let's bust through all those worries and concerns and fears when you're serving at 5-3 in the first set and you're going, please just let the guy give me the rest of this game, because I don't really know if I can get to the finish line on my own. So we started yesterday, and today what I want to talk about is this whole thing about staying in the point, which for me really, when I was starting to play and play a lot of tournaments, and I think I felt it more in doubles, where I just looked at every ball that I was about to hit as something that I had to do something pretty big with. And if I didn't get offensive with it, whether it was a serve, whether it was a transitional incoming volley behind that serve, or a pickup, a half volley, or an approach shot, I just kind of felt like, you know what, I better do something here, because the longer I stay in the point, the chances go up that it's not going to be a great result. And I just remember watching, some of the top guys, and I'm not just saying doubles, but I mean, I'm just using the example of doubles. I mean, it was happening in singles as well. But watching these guys play a shot where it's like, man, they're playing the shot, and it's not anything more than, at least it's not giving that opponent an opportunity, an offensive opportunity, but it's not like, wow, they're really kind of, creating some offense. And then the ball would come back to them, and it was like no big deal, right? And I think that, if you've watched any of Gold Ball Hunting with Jeff Jacklich and me, and one of the common themes that Jeff continued to bring up was, you got to stop looking for the exit, right? And I think his thing was, I don't know, something about the house or the building being on fire. I don't know what. Anyway, his thing was, you got to stop looking for the exit, and especially too early in the point. And really, what that means is that when you're serving, you got to stop thinking about, well, you know what, I got to pound a first serve in here, because if I don't, there's a chance the guy's going to return the serve to me. Uh-oh. No. What happens then? Well, then you miss your first serve, and now you're dealing with a second serve, and now your confidence is really on the downward spiral. So, and I think it goes to, even if you're comfortable throwing a serve and assuming it's coming back, that there's way too often early in the point where we don't have an opportunity. We don't have a big opening. We don't have like the lower 40 to hit this next shot into. And yet we try to thread the needle one corner or another corner, or maybe go for a drop shot too early in the point, because we're really concerned about, if we stay in the point, right, that something good's not going to happen. And so Jeff was really, really big on that. And I just love that term. You got to stop looking for the exit so early. And the other thought that I always bring up, and, I'm like a broken record with this. It was a match that I played with, it was a tournament that I played with Dick Johnson. Rest in peace, my good friend, Dick Johnson. But he and I played the 2018 indoors in Houston in the 70s, and we played doubles, and we got to the finals. And I'd already played some doubles with him before, right? We played down in Palm Springs a couple of tournaments, and we had some good wins, and it was just great playing with this guy. But I never really realized until the finals of that tournament, which we ended up winning. I think we ended up winning 7-5, 6-2. A really good win. I mean, for me, it was a good win, right? And so we're upstairs after the tournament, and we're sitting there drinking a beer, and I just said to him, man, I don't think you missed a return today. I really don't. I mean, you might have, but I don't remember you missing a return. And then I went back to the semis, and I said, and yesterday, God dang it, did you miss a return yesterday? And he just, in his own very humble way, just said, well, I'm just trying to get the ball over there and hit a quality ball, but it doesn't have to be the greatest shot ever hit. I'm assuming it's coming back. So I've taken the pressure off myself to have to hit a great shot. So I'm going to hit a quality ball over there, but I'm assuming it's coming back. And whatever comes back, and here's what just nailed me was, he said, and we'll just take it from there. And so that whole mindset from him of we'll just take it from there kind of relieves you of all that pressure that you've got to hit a great shot, because you don't trust that whatever comes back, not sure that you want to take it from there, right? So you got to get comfortable with staying in the point and waiting for that opportunity that is such a no-brainer. And again, even if it's a no-brainer put away opportunity, which I can't stand the term put away opportunity, all right, it's an opportunity, but it's not a guarantee. And the reason it's never a guarantee is because you can't tell that opponent to guess where you're about to go with your put away. You can't tell them that they can't anticipate, and just the nanosecond before you play your shot to your intended target, they move over there, right? Or at least they start to move over there. And the next thing you know is you've gone, oh, I didn't put it away. Okay, well, that's an uncontrollable. So you've got to be okay with the fact that, what can I say? It's okay to stay in the point. And if that means hitting a quality ball, and even if it's a wide open lower 40 that you're hitting into, there's a chance it's coming back, and that's okay. You can then take it from there. So I hope this makes sense. I mean, for me, this was like a huge epiphany back in the day when I finally decided, wait a minute, I don't, on this low transitional volley in doubles, I don't need to stick it. No. I mean, the guys had a good return. It's down at my feet. I want to keep it away from that, that opponent who was in front of me up at net. I want to get it back cross court. I can go slow and low back cross court. If the guy at net poaches, he's going to have a tough ball to deal with. But I don't have an offensive opportunity here. So it's okay to play that low and slow back cross court down to that returner's feet, and we'll take it from there. And so I don't know how else to articulate this point, but it's just something that you got to desensitize yourself to. And I think it's one of those deals where you go, okay, I don't need to be offensive on this particular shot because I don't really have an opportunity to do so. I think the more that you accept that reality, and the more that you play the right shot, which is a back in play, keep it safe, but don't give them an offensive opportunity to do something, what you're going to find is that you're going to win a lot of points, right? You may have, a few years ago, I had an interview with the great Erica Smith from Northern California, and I don't know what her gold ball count is now. I know it was over 20 then. It was mostly in doubles, but I know that she's won a grass court singles title before. But we were talking about, what her favorite drill is in doubles and getting ready for a national event. And she termed it, something like, the 3-shot drill. And all that she did in this drill, and this would be if she's playing cross court with the shadow doubles where you just have a one practice partner over there. You not actually have 4 players in the court, but you guys are playing out points cross court, either serving or returning. And her whole goal was that I've got to hit 3 balls, no matter in this point how fat an opportunity might be. I've got to hit 3 shots, and she would start counting them off. Right, the first one, if she was serving, would be 1 in play. Right. It's okay. Whatever's coming back, I'll take it from there. Whatever that was, she'd then play the second shot. And then she'd count that, number 2. And then she'd play a third shot. And she knew that if she could desensitize herself in this practice setting to 3 shots, that once she got in the tournament, if she was still thinking 3 shots, it would be rare. It would be rare. In the match, she'd go 1, 2. Oh, the third one didn't come back. Okay. And as I'm thinking about this. So anyway, that's a great drill to do. And even if you're practicing singles, if you're playing some practice points, count off 1, 2, 3 until the point's over. And I think what you're going to find is the counting thing, and kind of got to give some credit to the great Mark Vines over at Set Tennis Camps in Naples, Florida. Jeff and I interviewed him a few years ago about, his kind of plan A, plan B, and this kind of thing. And whether it was serve and volley or whether it was sort of being more of an all court, would serve and stay back, but still look for something to come in, might be dependent on that opponent. But his thing was, if all else fails, all that he's going to do is just start counting in the point. Shot number 1 is a serve. Next is 2, is 3, just to sort of get out of his mind of he's got to do maybe a little bit too much, right? And I think that's the message today, is that we get a little bit ahead of ourselves because we don't want the point to continue, because we don't trust that if it does continue, right, that we might somehow screw it up. I now look at it in the other way. If I have to keep the point going on longer, I think it works in my favor. Just me. All right, guys. Hope this makes sense. So look down below in the comments area. Let me know what's going on. What's your thing mentally that you want to get figured out? There's actually down in the description area a link that will take you to a one question anonymous questionnaire that I'd love for you to just less than 60 seconds. Click the link, read the question, and then answer it. I swear it'll take less than 60 seconds, unless you really want to get verbose and go on, and that's fine too. But would love to know what's going on with you mentally. If there's one area of the game where you feel like, man, if I could figure this thing out, that you'd be a better player. So down below in the description area is that link. Click it, spend a minute and let me know. You can also shoot me an email, brent@webtennis.com. Hey, Rich, good morning. And Rich is saying this subject really comes to mind when playing quality doubles. It amazed me that our opponents kept kind of dumping, pushing, hitting the ball back to us. But now with super pace or highlight location, it was an aha moment for me. I understand now. Good. Yeah. Yeah. And in doubles, it's, in doubles, everything is kind of compressed in terms of targets, right? You don't have, like in singles, you get the big wide open lane, right? So the tendency, I think, in doubles is because we've got constraints in terms of areas that we can hit into, is that we try to hit the ball a little bit too big. We try to be a little bit more offensive to make sure that that our, 70% power doesn't kind of float around up there and let someone pick it off. And I used to be there. I used to think I need to stick, I need to do more with the shot, I need to really go big in the return, whatever it was, need to really go big on the, transitional stuff. And I just found that it ended up being way too many unforced errors. And that by watching, observing the top guys, by being on the court with the top guys, realizing, gosh, they're not really panicking here. They're not really doing anything. They're not really forcing it, unless they've got a big fat opportunity to do so, and still realizing that it might come back, and guess what? We'll just take it from there. So, all right, guys, look, tomorrow I got some more stories for you on the mental part of the game. Again, we're going to make that transition. Here we go with the sun again. Today, we're going to make that transition from really being comfortable in practice matches, where like, there's nothing to worry, there's no consequence here, right? To the real thing. And we just seem to get nervous and tight and a little bit choky now and then in the real deal. And I've got something for you starting Thursday that will be an opportunity for you to get into a brand new course to help you make that transition from practice to the real deal. Where for me now, I feel like over the last, decade or so, I just feel like the picture I have so much more clarity in tournament matches than I do in practice. And all that means is the clarity is that things become a lot more simple. Shot choices become a lot more obvious. And I'm just getting so much better at not manufacturing technique consciously during matches than what I used to. And a lot of that was because of all the teaching I was doing. We went in that story yesterday. I'm not going to bore you with it again today. All right, guys, that's it for me today. I guess it's time, right? We're almost 20 minutes into it. Boom. It's time. You got to get out there. I don't care if you're in Steamboat, if you're in Rancho Mirage, or like Rich in Alameda. We all got to get out there. Help someone else have a spectacular day. Guys, we'll do this again tomorrow.